What's up, guys? K Plays here. And I just came back from playing Wilds Hunting Ground. You guys ready to talk about it? Because I sure am. Hey guys. Like I said in what's probably my most dramatic intro so far, I just got back from TwitchCon where Capcom was holding yet another chance to access the Monster Hunter Wilds demo. And they also just dropped the trailer and the release date out of nowhere, but we will get to that in a second. Whether you know me and have been waiting for this video for a while, or we chatted in person over the last couple of days and you decided to come check me out for the first time, this, as per usual for the channel, is going to be a love letter to Hunting Ground and a long line of love letters to Hunting Ground. I'm not joking when I say that in Wilds, it's easily the best it's ever been. When I say that picking through that entire hour or so of footage we got from Gamescom with a fine-tooth comb to make my analysis videos a while back only just barely prepared me for experiencing it firsthand, I mean it. I barely have words. It's just wow. I learned a ton of things about where we're going to be in the future for Dupe mains, and if you're looking to get all your questions answered, I've got the answers. Before we get to those though, I just want to talk about my general takeaway for the event. The juicy Hunting Ground details will start at this timestamp. But if you want to get right into it, go ahead and go there, but I'm thinking that this 2 cents is also part of my time here. If I could describe my mood right now in a word, it's appreciative. The staff was awesome. I don't usually actually watch Twitch content at all, so I literally came with the intention to just play the demo, and then explore around over the next couple days. Brought my capture card, my camera, my mic, a tripod, everything, and all was all ready to go. But unfortunately, I couldn't get any personal footage. What I understand that live streaming was mainly by invite only, and the setup available for free public use didn't really have a good hookup for allowing direct capture. So I'm thinking, it's fine. I'll just play and check stuff off the questions list as I go. Problem is, that questions list was about 50 to 60 questions long between what I was looking for and what all you guys were looking for. I actually managed to get into the first 30-minute session of the first day, which I was super happy about. And then I blinked and then the screen said thanks for playing. Literally it was so fun and so new that I went by that fast, and I ended up only checking off maybe 10 or 11 of the questions I was compiling to try out on my own. The awesome people at the booth though, they were gracious enough to let me just float around. There was an open window so you could kind of see in when other people were playing, but during the event it was sign up only, right? So sometimes people would only sign up for 1 or 2 people at a time in a 4-person booth. Sometimes someone's friend just decided to go off and do something else. And then you hang out at the booth in a Hunting Ground shirt and people think, oh, that's a team player. Throw them in there. I managed to get about 6 plays, 3 hours or so total, and do it, including the last one of the entire session. And I'm thinking at any point, these guys working at the booth were just going to be like, all right, it's been enough, time to go. But actually, no. They were all super awesome people. We chatted and had fun, and they were super gracious about me hanging around for it, like I just said. And this is my first ever convention, so I don't know how things go. So that was really appreciative. I'm really happy for those guys. And speaking of just the groups in general, I love the community feel, the vibe at the booth. Between the official streams that were playing on screen and the open public setup, there was a new constant crowd of people hanging out for Wilds and the Monster Hunter community in general. I got to talk at length for the first time ever, in person, with people about Monster Hunter when I'm usually click-clacking on the forums or GameFAQs or Discord about it. It's a totally different feel. Everyone was super cool and everyone was super happy about what's my favorite game in the series. My favorite series of video games, period. And it was just amazing. Everyone's like, oh, what's your main weapon? You excited about this new thing? What do you think about the Monster Hunter designs? Do you notice this in the trailer? How's the armor? It was amazing. I really could have spent the entire time just doing that, but there was also a whole Twitch event to explore outside the Capcom booth. And explore I did. And honestly, TwitchCon was a whole vibe. The other events and the streamers doing other things there were super cool, and like I said, I don't really interact with Twitch content that much, but honestly, after this weekend, I might start. Am I going to drop a 24-hour live stream tomorrow? Probably not, but because you're looking at me right now, I'm deciding I might feel it out a little bit, so we're going to go live. No script, no nothing, we're just jumping right into it. with a catch, because like I said, I have a bunch of questions and a bunch of odd details to get through. So I'm going to have my list of notes right here, and we're going to get right on to going through it. But speaking of which, without further ado, let's dive in. Now, the normal moveset, it's back. If you remember it from World, it's World, not Iceborne. Because the Echo Attack, the spin to win, it's gone. So that run I did with Latrion back before I even came, totally shot me in the foot, because every time I went to go hit, oh, this is a perfect time to Echo Attack. L2, nothing. L2, nothing. So that's a habit I got to break right off the bat. But other than that, it's pretty much World as usual. If you played it, you know exactly what you're doing. Now, a couple things that changed. The attack speeds are pretty much identical, but there's smoother transitions between it. And what I mean is, instead of swinging and stop, you could swing right into the momentum of the next attack, right into the momentum of the next attack. So while every attack was exactly the same, you could transition faster, and it felt a lot smoother overall. It's super noticeable, especially in how early hilt stabs specifically can be thrown out after other moves, as first noticed by the awesome speedrunner and fellow hunting horn YouTuber QA a few weeks ago. Now, speaking of smooth things, the neutral draw from Rise is back, which means that we actually have it in the game that we can actually use it, because we're going back to queuing up notes to queue up songs to play during recitals. Now, it's not the exact same thing as it was in Rise, where you could pretty much do any attack you wanted. How it worked was basically you draw straight into the forward slam that does the white note, or note 1, purple note, if you have a higher ranked horn. But halfway through the swing, you could also cancel into a right swing for note 2, or a back slam for note 3. That means you can't, just go straight to a super pound. You can't go straight into a flourish, but you're still able to access any note at any time, straight out of a draw. Now, the exception of the World as per usual thing is Crush being added up, or overhead smash follow-up attack. We're going to call it Crush because it's Crush from Rise. Like the longer official name says, it's a follow-up for only super pounds. That means you can't combo it out of a back slam, you can't combo it out of any other move. It's just a combo out of super pound. So that's going to be good for any notes where you'll have to do a note 3, a note anything else, because super pound now has the same functionality as the flourish, where you can put in any note and then another note 3. In the demo, for example, that was good for the offset melody, which was yellow, red, yellow, white. You could go super pound, crush, hilt stab. You had the whole 4-note song right there. And counting all the stuff we talked about in the analysis videos, so that's pretty much it for the basic moveset. There's no hidden moves. Everything we've seen in the trailers or the already shown footage is what we have so far. Now, we do know for a fact that there are moves that we haven't seen yet in the demo that will be in the full game. For example, that Sonic Smash attack, couldn't find it as like a combo finisher or anything, so it's pretty much confirmed to be another special performance. Perform, that awesome sick breakdancing dodge move, unfortunately, is not in. I was looking for it, I was hoping for it so bad, because that's one of my favorite moves from Rise and Generations Ultimate. It wasn't there. But then again, special performances were going to be essentially a new move built into the note combos of every horn. That's going to be different for every horn. So I wouldn't say just yet that moves are completely gone, because there could be a chance that they might be built into some other horns that we will just see in the full game. Now, moving on from places where we didn't really get that much added on new to something that's almost been completely revamped. Let's talk the recital combo, which is basically the recital mode, performance beat, and encore. Now, for a less functional, more just like fun flavor type of thing, for those of you that are worried about it, the audio clips that play when you actually play songs, those are all back. We didn't have the short little Rise clips anymore that was pretty much just like one quick sound every time you played, since there was no long recital animation. Now it's back to the full song that would change every time you played a different song in your queue. That means that we had a saxophone in the demo. I was playing full saxophone solos. It was pretty cool. We get our nice little fun feel back, and it has functionality, because basic recitals, they're pretty much the same, but they're faster. That means the directional ones that you use where you swing to one side, or you swing to the other side, or you swing back, those are all faster, and you can also now do them from neutral. You just put in a directional input in the way you want to go, and you can do it. They'll probably be used a little bit if you want to just like maybe transition real quick. Like, for example, how you saw in the trailer where you could drop the monster, it falls to one side, and you could sort of use your momentum to immediately swing to that same side, where you would have had to roll and then restart your combo in past games with past controls. Now, aside from any situational moments like that, you'll probably still only want to use the neutral and forward recitals. The forward recital actually might be better now because you don't only get to be able to use the kick forward after a move that your hunting horn already lands on the ground. You can now swing it out forward and kick it straight up instead of having that awkward full swing before you actually get to the animation like we had in World. It's extremely quick. It combos well out of moves like the Echo Dance and the Focus Strike, and it's good for landing hits directly forward in front of you. Now that every song you play does a wave of sonic damage when it activates. If you have your horn forward, those will land, but if you have your horn to the side like you would have it in a neutral recital, those might miss. You can avoid this by holding forward during a neutral recital to kick your horn back into that front position, but that's still slower than just starting with the kick in the first place. Either way though, Performance Beat will put that horn in the forward position anyway. Alright, so Performance Beat. That move is pretty much, yo, I heard you like recital mode, so we're gonna let you start recital mode, and then start recital mode, and then start recital mode again, before your encore. And basically what I mean by that is, as soon as you have one song, or more than one song rather, in your queue, you can now start using performance beats. So if you only have one song, you can only do the usual recital, encore, done. If you have two, you can do recital, performance beat, encore. And if you have three, you can do recital, performance beat, encore. So pretty much it's a way to keep up your offensive pressure while you're playing songs. So if you want to just use that for buffs or just straight up to attack, that's your new longer song mode combo. You can, during recital modes, step forward, step backwards, step to the left or the right using directional inputs. Unfortunately, moment of silence for it because I did test this out. There are no more directional encores. So no swing backwards, no stepping forward, smash, and then kick back up, no sliding to the sides. There's just the one new quick encore. Now, sadness at having a couple classic moves being confirmed gone aside, I'm not actually that upset about it because this one that we have is kind of better than all of them. It's fast, it's a strong multi-hitting move for boosting all your previous song effects, and like the performance beat, it points your horn forward so you'll land every hit. And when I say every hit, I mean this. The encore is pretty much replaying everything about the songs you played before, which now will include the extra sound waves every song applies. Meaning that if you play 1 to 3 songs, you also get 1 to 3 extra hits on the encore. If you manage to load up a full 3 songs into the encore, that'll do a total of 5 hits with just 1 button press, on top of the 2 that the actual animation itself does. On top of this, the performance beat and the encore will have a rhythm/timing based mechanic for extra damage. So what the weapons controls say were basically that if you time the button presses to the songs actually activating, you get a damage boost. Now, was I able to test out exactly how much of a damage boost that is, or what the actual perfect timing will get you? In a demo setting where 3 other people were playing with me while I'm trying to test, and also in monsters actively trying to kill me? Unfortunately not. Since as of today we now know the full game's release date, hopefully we get a demo date that we can play at home revealed soon. Because with that, hopefully we'll also get a training room, and I can sit there and smack the training dummy for however long it takes for me to actually get this down and show it to you guys in real time. In hindsight, I'm kind of liking how they shifted away from the echo attack spam and back to songs being our main go-to damage combo. You build resources and spend resources just how you do with other weapons, except with us, you also get the benefit of the buffs when you spend those resources. And speaking of those, songs are pretty much the same like we discussed before. That means the duration, the effects, everything's like 90 to 95% copy-pasted from the corresponding song stuff in World. Self-improvement does give the attack boost and also the mind's eye and the movement speed. Attack up obviously boosts your attack, so on and so on. The only change I saw was the change in the note combo for attack up, but other than that, copy-paste. Now, usually we're able to check the Hunter's notes for sheet music just in case there's any new songs. In the past demos, we found a bunch in Rise. And in Iceborne, I believe we were able to see all of the Echo Note songs. But this time, they were one step ahead of us. Well played. Because when you go to the sheet music in this demo, you see only the songs that were on this specific song list. So no sneak peeks this time. Now, there was one piece of info that I did find there, and it's absolutely huge. Echo Wave. Echo Wave. From how the wording went, and it's pretty much burned directly into my memory, like word for word, because it's just a crazy drop of info that we didn't see until now. It's sounding like this is now just going to be a default thing on every horn instead of something that might or might not be on specific song lists. It read, let me think. A melody effect that deals damage. Each hunting horn has different effects. Wait for this. Some deal blunt, which is what we had in the demo, which is a bigger chunk of blunt damage, or slicing damage, while others can inflict elemental or status ailments. Now, I gotta be being punked. Like, I'm looking for the camera aside from the camera that I'm looking at right now, because did I not ask for exactly this? Like, roll the tape. It may sound like I'm talking up elemental overall here, and well, I kinda am. I really like the added variety you get out of having to match your gear to attack specific monster weaknesses, especially when, with Hunting Horn, it also has you using a wider selection of song lists. So why keep bringing up status? Well, consider Hunting Horn's role in this game. As Monster Hunter's resident team benefiting, multiplayer thriving weapon, it'd be nice and fitting to take this route and have it double as the game's best buffer and debuffer. Lastly, and probably my favorite idea for this mechanic, light blue would be Lullaby. This would be a sound burst that applies exhaust and sleeps on contact. It'd be pretty neat to have the ability to use music to soothe savage beasts before giving them a rude awakening. I might need to buy lottery tickets tomorrow because that prediction game is crazy. Now, the slicing thing, that's completely out of left field, but it's pretty cool when you think about it, because now, do I need a tail cutting weapon because I need to switch off of Hunting Horn because it only does blunt damage except for the hilt stab? No, because I can just use my slicing song. Do I need a pocket bowgun now because I want to throw some extra statuses out? No. I'm just using my sleep or my paralysis or my poison song. Hunting Horn is going to be able to just do super crazy utility all in one. It's just, I'm ready to see it. Especially if you can do crazy stuff like double up and have like a raw weapon with water waves, or paralysis horn with sleep waves for just paralysis, exhaust, sleep, stun, just the whole 9 yards of monster control. Give me the game now, please. But speaking of great things for Hunting Horn, Echo Bubbles. These are happy brain chemicals, because now that I actually saw how you could use these in full potential in person, actually trying to use it intentionally, this is finally big damage on Hunting Horn, because Recital mode, the combo is four attacks. 3 hits on each Recital, performance beat, 5 hits on the Encore. With just 1 bubble going off every time you play a song, that's 18 hits and just 4 button presses. With 3, it's 26. How's that for becoming quote-unquote blunt dual blades? If I could squeeze out just one little extra bit of prediction, please put status and element on that, because that's exactly what I wanted in that whole last wishlist video right there. I'm really liking this as a balancing decision because it makes the damage ceiling potentially a lot higher now, because it takes extra steps and ideal conditions to reach it. It's a really nice touch. Those conditions are you maintaining multiple bubbles, since you can only put 3 down, and refreshing and moving them during the fight? Do you have a well-placed pattern in like a loose triangle from what I was seeing, because you would be able to get at least 1 or 2 to always being hit? And are you keeping the fight close? That means, are you just not running away every time you use the bubbles, or are you making sure that you're actually having the fight stay there using like things like traps or the new luring pods? Basically, I think of bubbles less like some annoying micromanagement thing you have to always keep up, and more like hazard pay, but for your DPS. My impression is that it's kind of doable to make sure that these conditions are at least somewhat 70-80% there at all times. The bubbles go down fast, and they sync pretty well with song playings because you can get up to 3 notes while you're doing them. It's a little annoying when things go wrong, but when they went right, they went really right. Like, for every time that the monster just so happened to fall just outside the bubbles range and I couldn't hit it and it sucked, there was 2 other times where I could just keep them right there and stun lock, KO, stun lock, drop another bubble just because of my move, stun locked again. It's great. And what gets even crazier is the fact that you could have multiple Hunting Horn users. I managed to get into a couple fights with somebody who was actually using another hunting horn too. And while we couldn't affect each other's bubbles, so no double, triple, quadruple bubbles in the magical team of 4 hunting horn users, if you all happen to drop them down, but there's no limit. So you can potentially get up to 12 bubbles, drop them all at once, and then just nuke monsters with songs. I can't wait. That definitely has to be a video in the future. Now, there are 2 last special mechanics that we had left to work with. The focus mode and the focus strike reverb and offset melody. Starting with focus mode, I didn't notice anything crazy for us here. So, like Insect Glade was able to just attack with the bug every time, and you always want to stay in focus mode all the time. Hunting Horn, you pretty much just, it does exactly what it says on the tin. You attack a little bit easier, a little bit more accurate, a little easier to aim, and that's it. It's good for fine-tuning like recitals if you happen to aim in this direction and you need to shift your horn back over here. But you can also already do that with your performance beat and your encore anyway, so it's not really that necessary. The Focus Strike Reverb is nice, but also kind of conditional because the timing mechanic is there too, so if you're just slapping on the buttons, it's not going to do the full damage. I also noticed that sometimes this will end on just the 5 extra hits, and sometimes it'll do the big guitar riff that we saw in the trailer, based on whether you exactly precisely timed your attacks, almost exactly on the input window, so that's definitely going to have to take some practice. I wish, because it was so technical, that they would just let you do the guitar riff whenever, but unfortunately not. If you don't hit a wound, you don't get anything. So I was thinking that this might at least be just a good, solid wake-up. You just do the punch, you don't get the guitar solo. But we ended up getting something better, the offset melody. This is probably where that Sonic Smash attack will be hiding, and maybe a couple more. We don't know how many different special performances this will be, but special performance is going to be a different song or different special move on every song list or horn. We don't know yet because we've only seen one. The variety is going to be nice though, because we have a special performance, an echo bubble effect, a song list, a femto stat, and also potentially a built-in echo wave attack for variables for different horns. It's going to be really hard for there to just be just one best thing, because now you have, that horn might have higher raw, but I like the bubble on this one better. That horn has low stats, but every other song variable is just top tier. I'm ready for it. But for the offset melody that we have specifically, this is essentially a 4th song in the combo. And what I mean by that is that there's no special follow-up like there is for the other weapons offset attacks, but instead you can insert an offset melody into the recital combo at any point. That means you can either offset melody right away and then do recital performance beat encore, or if something's about to catch you in the middle of your recital and you have an offset melody stocked up, you can combo directly into an encore, you can combo directly into an offset melody and then keep right on going with your recitals if you have any songs left. That's really crazy, especially since you can hold this. And what I mean by that is that after you do that quick dive back, you don't have to immediately throw the attack out. You can hold just like longsword special sheath. So it's funny because we took the special sheath and then also the Harvest Moon in the form of our echo bubbles directly from longsword. Get wrecked. But you can hold it, have it ready while you're jamming, which is crazy because Hunting Horn just always has to be moving, even if it's not moving. And then once the monster's finally in a good position, let it go. I'm loving that. But it doesn't even actually have to be used as a counter either. It did decent damage as its own, just as a regular old heavy hit. So this will probably be our new wake-up attack for sleep or any natural monster going to sleep. Because encores, you can't do the usual impact echo wave thing anymore because encores hit 5 times. You're most likely not going to land that big impact echo wave. This one solid hit. So you can just throw that out. And then it just safety frames for free if you're actually using it during combat. I'm hoping that other weapons get good special performances because I was thinking that a counter being optional was going to draw all of the top tier choices just to that. But since it's not mandatory that you use it as a counter, there are room for like more utility based or just different types of damage when it comes to special performances. So it's, always keep a special performance in your back pocket, load it up, just have it ready to go at all times for damage, utility, counters, whatever. I said the word. Pocket horn, corner horn. Now that I've actually gotten to play, I'm not nearly as worried about it as much. Because hunting horn just has so much going for it that just using it as a sidearm is not going to do it justice. I'm hoping that it just ends up doing so much damage and when played perfectly that people aren't going to try to duck not having good damage and just get the songs, but it's not going to work. Every weapon just has so much added to it that you're not going to be able to juggle all of their gimmicks, plus the most work-intensive part of hunting horns, while also not being able to constantly use hunting horns moveset like we can. If you're just going to be swapping, half the time you're not even going to have the songs. You want earplugs, just throw earplugs on your set. You want 10%, 15, 20% extra damage. Don't spend 10 to 15 to 20% extra time swapping back and forth, and you'll just do that damage anyway. Yeah, it's not going to work. The average player base is probably still going to try this, but they're not considering the cost. So once they actually try it and feel like how tedious it's going to be, it's not going to work out. The one thing that people were thinking was mainly going to make it a little easier, riding on the sacred and also playing notes and doing songs, I'm happy that that's not going to work. Hear me out. When you ride on your sacred, you have the option to do this really heavy, slow, endless combo that does either note 1 or note 2, depending on which button presses you do timed to the actual swings. This slows you down while you're attacking, so you're not just running around at full speed while you're doing this. Your sacred slows to a walk. And then if you try to play songs, your sacred is going to stop entirely because you stand up in your stirrups and it doesn't want you to fall off, so it stops and just lets you play. So no riding into battle on your sacred, playing the song of your people. Unfortunate, I know, but this also cuts off corner horn on the go in its tracks. Also, you don't get to encore. So you just play the song. You can't roll counter, or roll cancel, you can't get out of it. Once you load those notes, you play your whole cue in place. It's actually more dangerous than just playing on the ground because you won't be able to get out of it and you can't even encore. So you'll have to probably either load up multiples of the same song or do that whole thing again. It's not going to work. If you want to get the most out of hunting horn, you're just going to have to play hunting horn. Now, that's pretty much everything that I found. My final thoughts is that this is the perfect balance out of everything we could have gotten before. World added the technical mechanics that focus on the main gimmick. Rise added the design shift towards quicker, flashier, and more aggressive gameplay. And Wilds takes everything, makes it nice and fresh, sprinkles a bunch of new stuff on there. It's perfect. I'm pretty sure it can only go up from here. With just what we know, there's a ton of potential, and we don't even know the full game has in store for us. I don't even know if there's new regular songs yet. What are all the variables and all the other special moves? How good are the buff from the Echo Bubbles going to be, or is it just mainly going to be a damage thing? Will they make Hunting Horn an elemental or status weapon? Please, let that one at least be yes. But it can only go up from here. As far as what we have to do on the player side now, it's going to be time to break the bad habits. Button spamming, that can't happen anymore. Because if you want to use all your moves to the fullest potential, the inputs have to be on purpose and deliberate. If you slam on notes to try to get that note out, you're going to mess up your cue when you try to do an echo bubble because the echo window is small. And if you hit white, red, red, because you're slamming on note 2 instead of white, red, green, you just messed up a song and you have to go do that all over again. Your damage timings on your focus strike and your recital. If you're just slamming through buttons, you might get through those a little faster, but you're going to be doing less damage overall in the same window. It sets the learning curve higher, but it'll be more rewarding to master as a result. I'm sensing that that's just going to be a general case thing with Wilds, but it's good that we have it here. It's less, It quiets down all the people who were upset that Rise was too brain dead when it came to Hunting Horn. I liked it, but yeah, it's a thing of the past now. It's fine. As far as the general game as a whole goes, it feels alive. It feels great. Wonderful to play. Monsters aren't just like a boss, a video game boss, coming after you. They'll interact with each other. Like, the raptors will try to kill Steel if they see a weak monster trying to limp away. Doshaguma's pack mates will just come in and act as bodyguards if you're trying to chase it down while it's limping. They'll jump in front, try to block you off, or come around behind you while you're fighting it and hit you in the back while you're trying to attack it. Like, they're alive. They're real. The grass, if it gets struck by lightning, it lights on fire. And if you touch the fire, it burns. This game is awesome. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait to start playing it. I'm really looking forward to more info because, just getting to play this makes me want to play even more. It's never going to be enough until we get to, February, that they finally get the release date. I have to make that whole new trailer analysis video. That's going to be fun. Right after this, I'll probably go ahead and start that. But Tokyo Game Show is right around the corner, which will probably have some new Wilds info. Hopefully more gameplay for us to check out too. I'm excited to see the Scarlet Forest. I'm finally going to be able to see that, and we're going to find out why the water's red. They told us why the inclement weather is just going to be rain. When is it going to be red? Why is it going to be red? We'll find that out soon. Camera died. First time doing it live, might as well. But I was rambling anyway, it's fine. This has been another K-Plays. This is the first in the flesh K-Plays. Hi, you guys might see me more often, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Oh, and before I sign off, I did see all of the interest in the shirts that I made for the con. I am looking into trying to find a way to make those available for you guys. Just let me know if you guys want to see anything like that, merch, different video ideas. And before I start rambling again, do me a favor, do all the fun YouTube stuff. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Maybe comment "doot" if you got this far in the video. Thanks, guys.